Hi, welcome to my channel. I'm Steve Down and this is my guitar. If you've just joined us, this is actually the last lesson on this, the West Coast Blues by Wes Montgomery from the incredible jazz guitar of Wes Montgomery. It's been a while getting through this one, and it's been at points an absolute slog, but it's been, I think, really, really beneficial for you and also for me to go through this tune. This is the last chorus, and then I'm going to post a full transcription of it in 2 weeks' time. So this week we're going to be taking a look at his thumb technique, where he's using a down-up technique for some of the fast passages, some sliding using some whole tone references, and also some augmented sounds as well. We're going to be looking at some easy voicings as well, and easy rhythm, which equals memorable lines. Looking at how the flat 9, the 7 flat 9 sound can come from the diminished chords. Lots and lots in here this week. Before we get into that, I'd like to say a big thanks to my patrons who've signed up in the last couple of weeks. Just a couple of you in the last couple of weeks, so big thanks to Hendrik and Peter and Evan as well. Oh, and Giovanni as well. Thank you very much, you guys. If you want to become a Patreon member, the link is on the screen and in the show notes below. Basically, over at Patreon, you can get the full transcription of anything that is on my YouTube channel and also the backing track, and all the exercise, example, arpeggio, chord scale packs as well. They're all there. Everything's there, and there's a few extra bits and pieces too. So head over there if that's what you'd like to look at. If you don't want to do a subscription, but you want to do a one-off thanks, then there's a Buy Me a Coffee link in the show notes below. And also, don't forget to like and subscribe as well, and drop me a comment as well, because it helps the channel be seen, and it helps people sign up on the Patreon channel as well. So without further ado, let's get on with the episode. Let's look at the first 4 bars of the solo. Here we go. Okay, so in these bars here, it's the strumming technique that is the thing of focus. So his strumming technique that he's using is where he's sliding into a B flat 7 chord and then going down to a B flat 13 chord here. And the technique that he's using is down, down, up, down. And he's doing this down, up, down. And it's this really quick technique of... Here it is slowed down. So this takes a little bit of effort to get into. What I would do first of all is, rather than playing this particular one, I play an exercise using it. So here's an exercise using a few different voicings of the B flat 7 chord, using this down up thumb technique. And then after that, when he goes to the A flat 7, it's just an A flat 13 voicing. Very, very simple. Back up to that B flat line. And then after that, we've then got this whole tone idea, which we could look at theoretically. It would be immensely complicated, and I don't believe it would be that helpful, but I think that this whole tone idea is just a sound idea. He's grabbed from the beginning this chord here, which is a B flat sharp 5 chord, B flat 7 sharp 5 chord, and he's moving it around. And then moving to E flat 7. So he's trying to create as much tension as possible, and then resolving to the 4 chord, the E flat 7. So I don't believe that we need to go into the harmony too much here. The thing that I think you need to work on the most is the shape of the chord and then moving that down. So here's an exercise for doing that. And then, as always, here is an example of me using some of Wes's ideas. So the thumb technique, the 13 chords, and also the sliding idea in whole tone, although I go up rather than down, like Wes does. And also using the augmented chords as well. So here you go. Okay, let's take a look at the next 4 bars. So in these next 4 bars, the first bar, so it's an E flat 9 voicing, going up to a 13 voicing with a 9 in the top as well, and then back down again. So nothing really out of the ordinary here. Again, just like we were saying in the last episode, make sure that you learn lots and lots of different voicings of the same chord. And on the last arpeggio chord scale pack that I put out for week 9, there's a lot of different voicings that I've included in there for all of the chords that are in this tune. So well worth learning. The next bit is something I like to call easy voicings, easy rhythm equals memorable lines. So what Wes is doing here is he's going from a minor 9 voicing to a 13 voicing. And all he's doing is this. And all he's doing then is just moving it down in semitones. And then eventually we get to this mammoth line where he's using lots and lots of different voicings of a C minor chord, which we'll get to in a second. What I'd like to say here is, like I was saying at the top of this, easy voicings, easy rhythms equals memorable lines, and this does then catch the ear of the listener. This sounds really rhythmically cool. It's really ear-catching, and there's only 2 voicings, and it's very, very super simple, and he's just moving it down in semitones. And this is one way that you can get around this complex part of the chord sequence. And he's not using the tonics, he's not using the roots, he's literally just using the top notes. So here's an exercise using that idea, showing Wes's easy voicings and easy rhythm first, and then me taking his rhythm and using some different voicings that you'll see later in the example. Okay, so here's that example I was talking about. And let's move on with the last 4 bars of this solo. Okay, first thing to take a look at here is the immense amount of voicings that he uses for a C minor 7. So starts off actually with a C minor 9, and then moves to a C minor 7 here, and then a drop 2 voicing, another one, minor 9 voicing here, another drop 2 voicing, and then an octave up of this first voicing here. So moral of the story here is learn your voicings. Here they are. And then he moves down through some other voicings again. C minor 7 here, drop 2 voicing, down to a C minor 9. Then he uses these diminished shapes to give a 7 flat 9 kind of sound over the top of the 7. So, and obviously the thing that he does here is this kind of moving all around the fretboard. So make sure that you're up on this particular shape of a diminished chord. Make sure that you know that these 3 here are different voicings of the same chord, which is F7 flat 9. This one here is he's just using as an approach chord, so, and then resolving to B flat after that, to B flat major 7. Here's an exercise looking at those diminished chords that can also be 7 flat 9 chords. These diminished chords basically have the same notes as the 7 flat 9, just without any roots in them. So this one is rootless, this one is rootless here, as is this one here as well. But they all have the other notes that are in the 7 flat 9, so the E flat, A, C, and G flat. Okay, taking a look at the last couple of bars, so the turnaround here, onto B flat major 7. Okay, nice easy voicings there. And then he does this really, really cool 2-5 going into the F sharp major 7. So first of all, it's the D flat 13 that he plays, and then he does a 2, 5, and then 1 into the F sharp major 7. And then after that, playing some altered chords over the F dominant chord. So F7 sharp 9, F7 flat 9, F7 sharp 5, and then resolving to a B flat 9 voicing. Let's just quickly wind back to that 251. It's not listed in the chord sequence, but it's something that he substituted in there to give some harmonic movement in there. So you can do that at any point within a tune. You can approach a chord that's coming up with a 2-5 that's not actually in the original chord sequence, just to add some harmonic movement. So you can reference it in your single note soloing, or you can reference it in your chord soloing like Wes has done here. So he's played a 2-5-1 going into the F sharp major 7. So that would be, so this is G sharp minor 7 and then going to a C sharp 13 voicing here. So you've got the flat 7, the 9, the 3rd, and the 13 there, okay? And then if you put the root in there, it makes a bit more sense. Okay, but he's only using the top 4 strings of it, so and it fits really well because it's the same fingering as the F sharp major 7, just a string down. So okay, let's take a look at an example of me playing over this solo, this section of the solo, using Wes's techniques, but in my own words, so to speak. Here we go. Okay, well done if you got through this, and well done if you got through the entire series of this, all 10 episodes. I think we've learned an awful lot through this. We've obviously learned an awful lot about how to play over a blues that is in 6, which is a very odd thing to do. It's not a very common thing that you find in jazz pieces. We've learned, as we've seen, an awful lot about soloing in single notes, in octaves, and in chords. We've learned about chord substitution, tritone substitution, and tritone 2/5s. We've learned about phrasing. We've learned about altered passages. We've learned about how to make things simple, like we did this week. Whole tone, Lydian dominant. There's a humongous wealth of information. You could spend a whole year on this piece, I think. But hopefully you've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed it immensely. Like I said, at points it's been a slog getting through because it's been so dense, but it's been an absolute pleasure to put this onto Patreon and to YouTube for you. Thanks very much if you got this far in the video, and thanks for supporting me, for the people on Patreon. We're going to be voting for the next tune in the coming weeks. Whilst that's going to be in production, I'm going to be putting up a few more shorts because they've been going down really, really well on YouTube. And if you've got any questions, I'm always over on Patreon. So if you want to get any of the transcriptions, arpeggio, scale, chord, exercise, example packs, and also any of the transcriptions from anything that is on YouTube, head over to Patreon. The link is here and in the show notes below. Don't forget to drop me a comment, like, and subscribe. And if you don't want to do any kind of subscription thing, but you want to show some appreciation, there is a Buy Me a Coffee link below as well in the show notes. Just for me to say thank you very much for being part of this. Thank you for supporting me, and happy practicing. I will see you next week for the full transcription of West Coast Blues by Wes Montgomery. Take care. Bye-bye.